Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into another role to defend battle, and just like every great match, everything starts with the decisions we make during the opening waves. The first few minutes may seem easy, but they're actually the most important part of the entire game. A strong beginning creates momentum for the rest of the match, while a few careless choices can make the later waves far more difficult than they need to be. Instead of rushing to place towers everywhere, we're taking our time and building a defense with a clear plan in mind. Every position matters because each tower should cover as much of the path as possible while supporting the rest of the setup. A smart layout always performs better than simply filling every empty space with random defenses, and that's exactly what we're trying to achieve from the very beginning. The first enemies begin making their way toward the base, giving us a chance to see how well our strategy is working. Everything looks comfortable for now, but we're already watching the battlefield carefully. These early waves are perfect for identifying weak areas before stronger enemies arrive. It's much easier to improve the defense now than to fix mistakes once the action becomes much more intense. With every completed wave, our resources continue growing, opening the door for stronger upgrades and better defensive options. Rather than spending everything the moment we earn it, we're thinking a few waves ahead. Sometimes saving resources for one powerful upgrade is much more effective than buying several smaller improvements that won't make a noticeable difference later. The battlefield is already becoming busier. More enemies are arriving with every wave, and the defense has to work harder to keep everything under control. That's one of the things that makes Roll to Defend so enjoyable. The difficulty doesn't suddenly jump from easy to impossible. Instead, every wave slowly increases the pressure, encouraging players to keep adapting and improving their strategy throughout the match. Another important part of the game is learning from every wave. Each attack tells us something about the defense. Some towers are clearly carrying most of the battle, while others are providing valuable support by slowing enemies or finishing them before they get too close to the base. Paying attention to those details helps us make much smarter upgrade decisions instead of simply guessing what might work. Patience is just as important as powerful towers. Rushing expensive upgrades too early can leave the rest of the defense vulnerable, while staying calm and improving the strongest positions usually creates a much more reliable setup. Every smart investment now will make the later stages of the game feel much more manageable when the enemy numbers continue increasing. So far, everything is going exactly according to plan. The defense is holding strong, resources keep building, and every completed wave makes our strategy even more effective than before. But this is only the beginning. The toughest enemies are still waiting ahead, and the next stage of the battle will truly reveal whether this defense is ready for everything Roll to Defend is about to throw at us. Let's keep upgrading, stay focused, and see just how far this strategy can take us. The battle is beginning to change now, and we can already feel the pressure increasing with every new wave. The easy opening is behind us, and the enemies are starting to arrive in much larger numbers. This is exactly where a strong early strategy begins to show its value. Every upgrade we invested in during the opening minutes is now helping the defense stay one step ahead of the enemy instead of struggling to keep up. Rather than rushing into random upgrades, we're focusing on strengthening the towers that are already doing the most work. A balanced defense is always stronger than simply relying on one powerful tower. Every unit has its own role, and when they work together, the battlefield becomes much easier to control. Some towers are dealing heavy damage, while others slow the enemies down just enough for the rest of the defense to finish the job. The battlefield feels much more alive now. Enemies continue moving through the lanes almost non-stop, giving us very little time to relax between attacks. Every completed wave rewards us with more resources, but it also introduces stronger opponents that demand even better planning. The game constantly pushes us to adapt instead of repeating the same strategy over and over again. One thing I really enjoy about Roll to Defend is that every decision feels important. Choosing the right upgrade at the right moment can completely change how the next few waves play out. Sometimes one powerful improvement is enough to stop an entire group of enemies long before they become a threat. That's why careful resource management is just as important as placing good towers. As the defense grows stronger, the difference becomes easy to notice. Enemies that were reaching deep into the map only a few waves ago are now being eliminated much earlier. Watching the strategy slowly come together is one of the most satisfying parts of the game because every successful upgrade has a visible impact on the battlefield. Of course, there's still no reason to become overconfident. Roll to Defend always finds new ways to increase the challenge. Every wave becomes slightly harder than the last, introducing stronger enemies that force us to keep improving instead of standing still. The moment you stop upgrading is usually the moment the enemy starts taking control of the battlefield. Resources continue building, giving us more freedom to improve the strongest parts of the defense. Instead of wasting coins on unnecessary changes, we're investing in upgrades that will continue paying off during the later stages of the match. Thinking ahead is becoming more important with every passing wave because the toughest battles are still waiting for us. So far, everything is working exactly the way we hoped. The defense remains solid, the upgrades are making a real difference, and every completed wave brings us one step closer to the final stages of the match. But the real challenge is only beginning. The next waves will test every part of this strategy, and we'll soon find out whether this defense is truly ready to survive everything Roll to Defend has prepared for us. The match is entering a completely different stage now, and the pressure keeps building with every passing wave. The enemies are becoming stronger, larger groups are appearing more frequently, and it's clear that the easy part of the game is over. From this point forward, every upgrade has to matter because the defense is about to face its biggest challenge so far. One of the best things about Roll to Defend is watching your strategy slowly come to life. The towers that seemed ordinary during the opening waves are now working together as a complete defensive system. Some are dealing massive damage, others are slowing enemies down, and together they're creating enough time to stop wave after wave before the enemies can get close to the base. The battlefield never stays quiet for long. As soon as one attack is defeated, another wave is already on the way. That constant action keeps the gameplay exciting because there's always another decision waiting to be made. Should we strengthen our strongest tower, improve support units, or save resources for an even bigger upgrade? Every option has advantages, and choosing the right one often decides how comfortable the next few waves will be. As the battle continues, we can clearly see the results of our earlier planning. Enemies that once looked dangerous are now being eliminated much earlier along the path, allowing the entire defense to work more efficiently. That's one of the most rewarding parts of any tower defense game. Watching a carefully planned strategy outperform increasingly difficult waves always feels satisfying. Even though everything looks stable right now, there's still no reason to relax. Roll to Defend always rewards players who continue improving until the very end. One difficult wave can completely change the match if the defense stops getting stronger. Staying ahead of the difficulty curve is always easier than trying to recover after the enemy starts breaking through. Resources continue increasing, giving us even more opportunities to improve the defense. Instead of wasting them on random upgrades, we're carefully choosing improvements that will have the biggest impact during the next stage of the battle. Smart resource management remains just as important now as it was during the opening minutes because every investment should make the defense stronger for the long run. The battlefield is now filled with non-stop action. Every tower is constantly firing, enemies keep advancing, and the entire strategy is finally being pushed to its limits. These are the moments that make Roll to Defend so enjoyable because every successful wave feels like another victory earned through careful planning rather than pure luck. So far, everything is coming together exactly the way we hoped. The defense is stronger than ever, our upgrades are paying off, and the strategy continues proving itself against increasingly difficult waves. But we're not finished yet. The final part of the battle is getting closer, and the biggest challenge of the entire match is still waiting just ahead. Let's keep improving the defense, stay focused, and see if this strategy can carry us all the way to the end. The battle has reached its most intense stage, and every new wave is pushing our defense harder than ever before. The enemies are stronger, they arrive in larger groups, and there's almost no time to rest between attacks. At this point, every decision we've made since the beginning of the match is finally paying off. The careful upgrades, the smart tower placement, and the patience we've shown throughout the game are all working together to keep the defense alive. The battlefield is completely filled with action now. Towers are firing non-stop, enemies continue advancing from every direction, and every second feels important. It's satisfying to watch the entire defense operate as one powerful system instead of a collection of individual towers. Every upgrade has strengthened the overall strategy, making it possible to deal with waves that would have been impossible to survive only a few minutes earlier. Even during these final stages, we're still looking for opportunities to improve the defense. Every new resource is valuable, and choosing the right upgrade can make the difference between comfortably clearing the next wave or barely surviving it. That's one of the reasons Roll to Defend remains so enjoyable. You're always thinking about the next challenge instead of simply watching the gameplay itself. One thing this match clearly demonstrates is that a successful defense isn't built in a single moment. It's created through dozens of small decisions that slowly come together over time. Every smart placement, every upgrade, and every resource saved earlier is now helping us survive the toughest part of the game. That's exactly why planning ahead is always more rewarding than rushing through the early waves. The remaining enemies continue testing every part of the defense, but our strategy is still holding strong. The towers are supporting each other perfectly, weaker enemies are eliminated almost instantly, and even the stronger opponents are struggling to make meaningful progress. It's rewarding to see the entire setup performing exactly as planned after so much careful preparation. Now the finish line is finally getting closer. The hardest waves are almost behind us, and the defense is proving that smart strategy can overcome even the toughest challenges. Every completed wave feels like another achievement because we know how much preparation was required to reach this point. What started as a few carefully placed towers has grown into a powerful defense capable of stopping everything the game has thrown at us. That's what makes every successful match so satisfying. It's not just about winning, it's about watching your strategy improve from the first wave all the way to the last. If you enjoyed this Roll to Defend gameplay, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share your favorite strategy in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Roblox adventure with even more exciting battles and new challenges waiting ahead. If you enjoyed this Roll to Defend gameplay, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Roblox content, and let me know your favorite strategy in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.